Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio with your host, Mike Stidham, on 1280 and 97.5 The Zone.
Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking some mixed martial arts in the studios of 1280 The Zone. This segment is brought to you by Beehive Bell Bonds because sometimes bad things happen to good people. And I want to remind our listeners about our poll question. The poll question is, the MMA awards were this past week. What were your picks and why? Brandon Kaiser, what was your assessment of the big show?
Well, John Jones, I think that's a tough one to argue with. He smoked everyone they put in front of him.
He did, I admit.
And becoming like the youngest champ of the UFC, that's...
You know what's hard for me, though, is when you have some of these legends, and you had a great point. He had a great year, and this was a yearly event, and it's hard to take some of those legends out and not give them just a little leg up just because they're legendary already, you know?
Yeah, I don't think Dan Henderson was the fighter of the year. I don't think he's a bad choice by any means, but he wouldn't be in my top three. Anderson Silva, of course, he's probably the one I would pick. But again, I just think of him as the greatest fighter ever.
Yeah.
So
when you talk about smoking competition, there's not even competition for him to smoke. You know, they're putting guys that they're trying to make up some sort of hype about to put in front of him, and there just really is nobody to put in front of him. So Anderson Silva should be the guy. Anyway, so is that it?
Well, that's the one I feel the strongest about, but we can talk about it.
Let's break down some others. You did mention, what is this international fighter thing? And
what is that? Come on.
They're all fighters, man. You know, I mean, come on. It's international. I don't know what the heck
Technically,
that has to do with.
even people from the United States are international fighters, right? Because they just did a show in England.
We are going to call ourselves a global sport, and we're going to call ourselves a global organization like the UFC is trying to do. There's no such thing as international fighters. Man, I feel like I just sounded like Gordon Monson just then. That was weird. All right, so now, Robertina, you did some research during the break while we were over here all talking about hot chicks and stuff and fast cars and our guns. Robertina was doing stuff.
I found out that all of the MMA awards were based on fans' votes, except for one, but I can't figure out which one. It doesn't say which one wasn't chosen by the fans, but every year you can go onto the website and you can vote.
I'm going to guess it's that lifetime award that they gave. Yeah, I think you wouldn't leave that to a fan. That's something.
To Sean Tompkins, the coach.
Yeah, a Lifetime Achievement Award is something I think the industry kind of picks. But yeah, that makes sense, and I'm glad to hear that it wasn't just some media source that decided, our staff writers are going to pick the winner.
And this makes sense because everybody watches the UFC. Not everybody watches all the other promotions. This is why I think.
I don't even
Don't shake your head at me.
What I'm saying is I don't watch the other promotions. I couldn't name two guys in Strikeforce.
All right. And Mike Stidham and his radio show, everybody.
I host a radio show. That's for you guys to call and fill me in. I'm not that guy that's going to tell you what GSP's third grade teacher's name was. I'm not going to be able to tell you that, but I will tell you when I see a good fight and what would happen in it. So, that's good to know. Now,
do you all agree that the fans are the best people to make these decisions?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm torn.
I don't. Honestly, the way I think the AP does it, in football and that, it's the people that write about this, or the people that report on that sport are the people who vote, and that's who I think should be, because first of all, they're informed. Let's not say all besides myself. But they're informed, and they kind of have more insight. Wouldn't you rather have Jordan Breen weighing in on something than Joe Schmug at the bar weighing in on it? I think he's more insightful, and I think he's going to give a more accurate vote. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I disagree.
Well, let's talk radio. That's why we do this. So you think it's all about the fans. And I think the fans should weigh in on some things. If you want to ask who's the most popular fighter.
They should have like a fans choice award
who
or
looks
something
best in their cup.
So do you think MMA personality of the year should be left up to the media?
Sure,
Don't you think it should be up to the fans? Because... No?
I don't really think that's a hard-hitting category that I really care about.
But it's a category.
Yeah, and I don't really care about it. I don't care about rhythmic dancing in the Olympics either.
Touche.
But, I don't care what you do with those. But I think if you're going to talk about the fighter of the year, if you're going to talk about, I even say the referee of the year, I think that's kind of something that an insightful, informed person should be able to look at. I think Herb Dean made some horrible calls this year.
You're still mad at him about the Fedor call.
I am mad at him. I think he was caught out of position. You know, and again, I don't think he would argue that. I think as a guy that's as that advanced in the sport, he knows he got caught out of position. He didn't see what he should have been seeing because he wasn't in the right place.
You know what we need to do? The ultimate combat. What do they call them? The Razzies for terrible movies.
Yeah,
We're gonna do that.
I'm
We're gonna
all
do
about
Ultimate
the
Combat,
Razzies.
worst
The worst?
referee,
I
worst
think-
fighter.
I think I'm good at Razzies.
We might win. We could win worst media outlet.
Yes,
we didn't even
would win.
we didn't even inform the fans that they can vote on this stuff.
I didn't know anything about this, but that's right. So, you know, and I understand they're going to air this thing. They're doing a lot of stuff in post production. They're not doing it live, which I thought was a little strange. I think you can have a real
Chael
award show.
Sonnen hosted.
You know what though, man? Either don't have him host or go with what you get. You know what you're going to get.
This is only the 4th year they've done this, though. Maybe later on they'll start doing it live.
I'm hoping that maybe something bigger comes in and takes the place of this magazine, because I don't even know this. I've never heard of this magazine. But apparently people are giving them enough credential or enough credibility to call this the official MMA award. But I think eventually somebody bigger is going to come in and make it more legitimate.
Like
and,
ESPN or something?
Yeah, because, you know, as fans, I didn't know where to go vote as a fan. Did you before this?
No,
We
I had
just
no
barely
idea.
found that out ourselves. And
But it's not up to the fans, apparently. Fans don't
apparently
matter.
it is. That's my point. If it is up to the fans, these 5 fans didn't know. So, all right, I want to talk about what's going on here locally, some upcoming events in the state of Utah here.
Bob's losing it.
The Cache Valley Clash in Logan is going on tomorrow, and they've got some top quality MMA action lined up. I don't know who's in it, but I hear it's going to be awesome. Next weekend, Steel Fist is back at it. They're headlining a couple guys from my gym. We already talked about this earlier. Not super stoked about the pairing in that fight. Do you know much about the undercard or the rest of the card?
I do not.
Kensei's fighting.
Is he fighting?
Kensei's fighting.
Do you know who he's fighting?
I don't know.
Okay. Kensei, that's worth the price of admission right there. Kensei always puts on a heck of a show.
He's fighting at the weight class that he should be fighting at.
That is good.
I know he's been
news.
complaining
I'm glad to
about
hear that.
dieting.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Is
a
he-
135-pound guy diets.
How's his peaking going? Is he,
I think I read something that I think he's good. with
his
the
peak-
Is it on?
Yeah.
Is it on point?
all right, okay, all right. I think a bit of a bold move. The guys up in Ogden, Total Mayhem, are doing a New Year's Eve event, and that's when the UFC puts on their biggest show, right?
That's
Yeah.
pretty cocky
That's-
to do it on New Year's Eve.
I don't know if it's cocky, but it's not so smart. But what I will say, it's probably the venue that asked them to do it. And so maybe they're doing it and getting paid well for it. But that's pretty tough to go up against the UFC's biggest, show. That's a hard sell. Unless maybe they're doing something with the UFC, showing it up on big screens or something. I don't know the details behind it, but they're doing a show. And then in January, Street Queens is still around. I thought they were out of business, but I guess they're still around. They're planning an event at the Rail Event Center. Now, I kind of got a kick out of it. This kid that came into my gym the other day came in to buy some fight shorts out of the Aztec Highway Pro Shop over there, and he says, I would have signed up at your gym here, but Joey Montanez said if I did, that I couldn't fight in Street Queens.
That's got to be illegal somehow.
I just think it's stupid. And if you're
Well,
gonna let a guy say that to you, and you,
Why would you want to find that promotion?
yeah,
if you're gonna do that to
exactly,
you?
man. So anyway, the dude's a clown.
You're
Plus,
gonna
I
let
know-
a promoter tell you what gym you can train at?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that the last show I went to, because I was cornering Cole, they had like 35 people, and
That would be an indicator why. When you start doing things like that, people will do the same thing back at you. So it's too bad that's happened. January 14th, the folks out in Vernal are doing another event out there. And they, those guys put on a great show. I don't know. When I say those guys, I'm saying when we went out there and did shows, the fighters out there are awesome. And the crowd's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
now Vernal's doing their own show.
They're
now,
doing their own
right?
thing now. They got rid of us. They wisely got rid of us.
You did it for a long time, and
To
now
be
they just,
completely honest with you, they didn't need us. They do a good thing out there, and so the wrestling coach out there runs it. I have no ill will or ill feelings about them doing their own thing. It was a matter of time. But, why split money with a guy when you could do it yourself? And
that was a lot of good times. Though,
We
huh?
should go back out
Don't get me
there.
wrong. I miss doing them, and I love doing them. If they'd have us back, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But, they're doing their own thing, and I wish them well. On January 20th, WCFC is putting on an event that this show has a little interest in. I know that you've got a couple guys, in fact, fighting in that event. They're billing it as the biggest MMA event in the Western U.S. ever. And I don't know if they understand that Vegas is in the Western U.S.
Or Anaheim, California, where Shogun get
So,
Really?
I'm not a geography major, but let's call it what it is. It's going to be a good show, I understand. So let's just not get too. Anyway.
Why is everyone so bold? Why not say in Utah? Why
There's
do you have
promoting, man.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the Johnny Ritchie theory. If you say about 1/10 of the truth, then you're good to go. You can call it the truth.
So the truth is it's
You
MMA.
exaggerate by 10 times and you're still telling the truth.
All right.
All right.
Somebody's going to hear that and believe it and show up to that show. That's the sad thing.
Exactly, man. So
Tickets are only $15.
all right, at any rate, they do have some intrigue in the show. They've got a welterweight tournament and a heavyweight tournament. Both have some local names in it. In fact, I got an email earlier, and
They are doing everything they can to complicate my life. That's for sure.
what they did is they've got a guy that trains at your gym and a guy that you've been training with for years. They're in the same division, right?
Yeah, both Casey Skull and Brandon Melendez
How awesome.
are in
Really?
the same tournament. And then Sterling texted me a couple days ago and he said, "Hey, I'm doing that tournament that Brandon and Casey are in." And I was like,
Sterling's in it too?
He
Lord.
texted me that, and I was sweating bullets, and I was like, "Dude, come on!" And then he texts back, he goes, "I'm just kidding."
That guy is so funny, man.
Wow.
All right, now, this is the email that I got, and I want to quote it directly. It says, the following list of fighters or names will release now as a teaser. And they're going to send me a second show as they draw closer. They don't want to let all the cat out of the bag just yet. So I can give these names to you. Brandon Melendez, Craig Mock, Francisco Alcantara, Jack May, Matt Kovacs, Mike Arant, Rodrigo Arterito. I don't know how to. They even put in parentheses spelling question mark. They don't even know that guy's name, but I don't know anything about it. You guys know anything about him? And Casey Uscola. So I do know that Brandon Melendez knocked Casey Uscola out years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was a fluke. I don't think it should happen. And I think Casey's been carrying it around for a while and would love to get him back.
Yeah, absolutely you would.
And then
how are you dealing with that?
I told both guys that I'm just going to be a spectator that night. So
good deal. All right.
they're
You kind of
gonna-
have to in that
they're gonna-
situation.
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, there's no way I can pick. I love both those guys, so.
I would have gone with Casey, man. I'm just telling you, Brandon, I think you're going to lose. I'm sorry. I'm going with the winner over here. All right, so we do know who this Jack May guy is, though. He came down to the
Is he the
last
guy that beat you
WCFC
up?
event. Oh, no, his smaller friend beat me up. This guy is a monster, and he trains with Eric Paulson.
Yeah.
Trains with
Ben the Badger, Ben Jones, Eric Paulson, Josh Barnett. I mean, this
Josh
guy's
Barnett.
like
He's Josh
7 feet
Barnett's
tall.
sparring partner.
Wow.
Dude is a beast. And they're going to put him in the heavyweight division.
And I think he has like 2 fights or something.
Yeah,
so
but he came to Mushin that night and was hitting mitts, and the guy is a skilled fighter and huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so the big guy that they were talking about going to roll with wasn't the big guy that's fighting in
No,
this
the guy that we rolled with was half this guy's size, and he
He was plenty big himself.
He ripped my arm off and hit me over the head with it. So, I mean, yeah, these guys are pretty tough. And so anybody even considering that heavyweight division, I would check and make sure you've got health insurance. And, just checking to make sure you got health insurance. I was like, it's going to be a good tournament, though. I really think I'm looking forward to this. One thing, just kind of as a side note, they've got so many events listed here that are going to be going on as far as next September on the Athletic Commission's website. And I remember when they wouldn't let me schedule anything more than a month out because they said they couldn't do that. They weren't equipped to handle that. Well, I guess things have changed. Steel Fist has got like 3 events already scheduled for the year 2012, and some other group is scheduled out to September. So Bill Colbert, once again, doing one thing for one guy and another thing for another. That's why we got to get rid of him. gherbert@utah.gov. Send your emails and let them know we just don't need any state regulations. All right, we got more Ultimate Combat Radio when we come back.